Live from the Channel 6 studios, it's AM Philadelphia with your hosts, Elizabeth Starr and Wally Kennedy.
Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. It's good to have you with us. I'm Wally Kennedy.
And I'm Elizabeth Starr. Among other things we will have on our program this morning, Frank Zappa will be here to talk about whether rock lyrics should be rated, also in honor of the fact that it's Halloween. We will talk to some people who believe that the soul is not only immortal, but that you can contact people on the other side. We'll speak with an exorcist, clairvoyance, and two mediums. But the way we start our show this morning is most exciting.
It's exciting, but it's also tragic. As you well know by now, there was a scene of death and destruction at a most unlikely place last evening. At the Springfield Mall in Delaware County, a woman reportedly walked in about 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and for reasons that are still hard to explain, hard to understand, began shooting. By the time it was all over, music that most of us grew up on, rock and roll. And how far is too far, and when are lyrics too strong in terms of their content? It is something that is, even as we speak, being debated in the halls of Congress. Some say they have gone too far already. Others say, look, there's a First Amendment, you don't have to buy it if you don't want to. Why don't we give you an example of some of the things that really are those things that are getting under the collars of people who would like to change the system. First, I want to show you a piece of video from a song by Sheena Easton called Sugar Walls. And I'll tell you why people are getting hot about it. Let's take a look. I don't think you need a PhD to figure out, you know how it goes. Is that too far? Is that too far? And is that something that your kids ought not to be exposed to? Or if, in fact, just to be advised that that kind of lyrical content is in an album. I don't know. That's the debate. We want to get you in on the telephone. We've got an audience that is very anxious to talk about this. And they are very pleased to have, as we are, Frank Zappa with us this morning. Hey. He is... somebody who has not only been a fixture in American popular music for about 20 years now, but also has kind of come to the forefront of American musicians and has taken a pretty bold stand about this stuff. Also with us this morning is Cal Rudman. He is the publisher of the Friday Morning Quarterback, certainly one of the more respected people in the music industry. Also comes to this discussion as a background as a teacher, master's degree. He's got a child. Frank's got 4.
Get on it, Cal. 3 more. Come on.
Okay. Sheena Easton's Sugar Walls. What's wrong with going into a record store and seeing a little teeny sticker up in the corner that says R on it?
Well, whose R is it? First of all, why would you want somebody else to decide for you what that song means, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, or too hot for you or your children? Why do you need to have somebody decide that for you? Are you too lazy?
Okay, but let's say
I mean, not you, of course, but...
No,
I mean,
certainly, Frank. I'm a hard worker, Frank. But what about the fact that parents are busy? I remember when I was listening to rock and roll, my parents couldn't police every single lyric line that was in the songs. You've been in music for a long time. Has it gone too far, do you think?
Are you going to shoot the messenger that brings the bad news? Songs are a reflection of our society. They don't create the society.
That's true. You have to remember that. I mean, why is all this talk about policing? What are we policing here? We were talking about words. Remember, sticks and stones can break your bones, names are not going to hurt you. What is a word going to do? Have you ever heard of a word that could make you go to hell, or is it going to turn you into a maniac? This thing started off about words. I noticed that when these, and I've done a lot of these shows, they always start off with some kind of a videotape, and they have some lyrics on the screen. Ooh, does this scare you? Is this going to make your going to make your children go rabid? And if it weren't for the fact that rock videos exist, I don't think this issue would have gotten very much coverage on television, because it makes such a nice little package. You take the rock video, show them some pictures, and you put the chyron on there and show them the letters, and then they go, yeah, well, big issue. Let's make a decision.
Okay, but obviously the Congress of the United States agrees.
You want to know who needs policing? Those guys need policing.
Why?
Why? I'll tell you why. First of all, this matter never should have been heard in a Senate hearing.
Why was it?
First of all, well, I'll give you some statistics. First of all, if there is a Senate committee wherein it might have been appropriate to hear this particular matter, it should have been Paula Hawkins' committee for family, child, drug, alcohol. And apparently they originally wanted to have it there. And I heard that maybe their committee was busy, but it wasn't so busy that Paula couldn't attend this particular meeting. This matter was heard before the Senate Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committee. Does that sound appropriate? For one reason it is, because 5 of the husbands of these wives were sitting on that committee. You're talking about a stacked deck as a fact-finding committee.
Let me just interject one thing. The wives to which you were making reference are part of the founding people in a group called the Parents Music Resource Center. They are the congressional wives who got this thing rolling. They were invited to be part of this program. We told them exactly what the format was going to be. They chose to decline the offer to be on this program with Frank Zappa. Theirs is a point of view, though, that has to be heard.
Okay, so you be them, all right?
No. It's not my job.
All right, well, I'll be them. Get your sleeves up like this. Okay, I'll be Tipper.
Okay, but you're attacking the personality in not
No,
what
I'm
they're
attacking the sleeves.
Okay, you say the video has gone too far.
The problem is the video, as Frank stated. Without the video, this issue could have not been brought to the fore. And there's been an unwritten code in visual media that you never violate. Well, it's been violated, showing sadomasochism on the screen. And the directors, they got their head and they went too far, and they put a lot of stuff on a screen, and these images have exploded on screens across the country, and it's been devastating.
Okay, but what are we trying to do? We're trying to legislate change for MTV or trying to legislate change for the recording industry? They're two separate entities.
There isn't going to be any legislation. I believe Senator Danforth already said there will be no legislation.
But here's the problem.
Yeah.
Danforth opened the hearing by saying the purpose of this hearing is to ventilate the issue. We do not want legislation. Danforth said that. He was immediately followed by Hollings, who said if he could find a way to do away with it constitutionally, he would.
Let me ask you
about... he does want legislation.
Your bottom line on this is you think that Congress is investigating and putting up a lot of smoke because they're trying to humor their wives?
No, it's worse than that. This is involved with a bill it's known by several names. In the House, it is called H.R. 2911, and in the Senate, it's called the Mathias Bill, and then there's another bill which resembles it closely, and I don't know the name of that one. But yesterday, the Mathias Bill was heard in the Senate. And this is the notorious blank tape tax. It means a lot of money for the record industry. And the record industry humored the ladies to begin with simply because the ladies were married to men who would influence record industry legislation.
Okay. Let's go to the audience. You've got a lot of people who came here to see Frank and get involved in this issue. Liz?
This is a record store owner. I'm curious, what would happen if the records were rated R, P, G, X? What would happen to sales?
I don't think it would be hurt. I think that most kids, they're looking for that, and it might even be something good for certain sales.
Do you feel like asking kids to whip out their age cards to justify the fact that they would want to buy an R-rated record?
No, it's very unfair. There's no reason to have to do anything like that. If a parent doesn't want a kid to have a record, they should know. They should have to listen to the record themselves and decide that. There's no reason to.
Is there any reason, though, to believe that a parent is going to, grab all the new albums that come into a house and say, let me listen to them first?
There's no reason why a parent should. Why should a parent be afraid of a child hearing a song like Sugar Walls?
Okay.
Some parents would say that it promotes sexual activity. That's why. And they don't wish to have their children active sexually at a certain age.
Well, there's no scientific evidence to support that. The person would hear Sheena Easton say Sugar Walls. If a person is sexually ignorant in a young age and they hear references to sugar walls, they don't know what a sugar wall is yet.
Okay.
So what's the deal?
Louie insisting that this was a dirty record, and I still don't know any of the lyrics to Louie Louie.
And neither did the Congress when they listened to it. Do you know that it went as far as the Congress listening to Louie Louie?
Originally?
Yeah.
And after 20 years, they still don't know what the lyric is.
Right.
Stay with us as AM Philadelphia continues. Have the lyrics and popular songs gone too far? And if they have, what should we do about it? We'll get your phone input. More audience input is Frank Zappa, Cal Rudman. Continue on AM Philadelphia. We'll go right.